All right, welcome to episode 4 of Backstop Backtalk. This is our first one with a special guest, a non-Backstop Bandit, the one and only THROWfessor, Sean McCourt. Sean is, a little intro first, founder of THROWformance, which you can see behind me, throwing training for athletes in Colorado and remote athletes as well. All ages, all positions, not just pitchers. That's why he's here with us today. He's helped over 200 players throw 90 miles an hour or over. He works with guys, current big leaguers. He was the former minor league strength coach for the Brewers. Nice strength and conditioning background for him, and just super knowledgeable about throwing in general. So welcome, dude. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I've worked with Sean personally. A lot of the Backstop Bandits have since
2016
probably. Yeah. So it's been a long time. I actually worked for Sean also.
Yep.
So gained a little bit of throwing knowledge from him. As much as I could. And yeah, super knowledgeable in throwing, movement patterns, just how to train throwers in all positions. And the proof is in the pudding. Lots of success for your guys. And so I guess first question that I'm kind of going to answer is, why would I bring you, a non-catching guy, onto the podcast for a catching platform? Well, like I said, he coaches more than just throwers. He coaches, I think, what do you say your second most prominent position is, the guys that you coach?
Definitely catcher.
Definitely catchers, yeah. Right? That's kind of what I observed too.
As far as guys that don't pitch.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So obviously having a strong arm, moving correctly is important for us, duh. And I think something that you've probably noticed is catchers can definitely develop some things that got to get fixed in terms of how we move. We'll get to that later on. But anyway, Sean's also super familiar with just kind of what makes a good catcher, like what pitchers want out of a catcher, and pitch calling, pitch sequencing, things like that. You have a lot of knowledge on that I've learned a lot from him on over the years. So lots of things we can kind of pick his brain on and then bring some value to you guys. So let's start with Sean McCourt's throwing and coaching philosophy. Like, how do you approach THROWformance and training guys?
Well, we try to keep it all centered around the player.
Yep.
That's who matters most. Our job is to develop them and get them better and get them to the next level. So everything we do is individualized, since everyone moves different, is built differently, has different mobility and strength issues.
Right.
So our main focus is, creating a program specifically for them that's going to benefit them and help them get to the next level.
For sure. That's huge. That's huge. Especially these days, there's a lot of, I would say, more cookie cutter programs out there. They sell it to the masses or whatever, but THROWformance is, it's who's the athlete in front of us, what specific, deficiencies we need to address. That's what I've noticed from it, at least. So that's awesome. And again, it works. It definitely works. When you're looking at a player, what are some of the areas that you look at, when you're breaking down somebody's video or whatever it is, in terms of mobility, how they move, things like that?
We approach it kind of from all angles.
Yeah.
So our main priority is to keep guys healthy and on the field. So we attack any low-hanging fruit that's going to get guys hurt first, whether it's a mobility issue, strength issue, movement issue, to clean that up. And then we kind of start from the first move and take it from there.
Right.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Like Randy Sullivan says, you're not going to get everything right from the first move, but you can definitely mess it up.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense for sure. Okay, so that can kind of lead us into, I think, catchers specifically. Obviously, everything's individualized for sure. But would you say there's some common things that you find in catchers in terms of deficiencies?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just due to the nature of the position, it breeds a lot of bad movement patterns.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are stuck in flexion, so tight hip flexors generally, from being in your stance a lot of time, and the majority of your throws are just dart throws back to the pitcher. So it obviously breeds terrible decel patterns.
Right.
It's usually a lot of straight arm finishes.
Right.
I can usually break down most catcher sheets without seeing them
looking
throw
at it
for the most part.
Yeah.
It's usually a poor hinge, straight arm finish, poor decel pattern, a lot of lack of rotation, and it's usually, I ask because we individualize guys' arm care based on where they get sore, but it's almost exclusively bicep, forearm, front of the shoulder, from the bicep, from straight arm finishes.
Right.